Academy of Art University's KR News is next. Coming up, the FBI is investigating the hacking at Sony Pictures, and there's a theory it could be an international job.
And if you haven't bought your Christmas tree yet, be prepared to dig a little more out of your wallet this year.
A new medical opinion out on their controversy over circumcision. We'll have details.
And the protest that led one famous lingerie company to change its campaign. All that and more next on KR News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here at the Academy of Art University's KR News. I'm Sylvia Moraz.
And I'm Summer Moore. Here's what we're working on tonight. The FBI has been called in to investigate the massive Sony Pictures computer hacking that happened last week. The breach compromised most of Sony's computer systems and accessed several movies online that hadn't been released yet. A hacker group named Guardians of Peace is taking credit and has apparently been warned the company that internal data and secrets would be released unless Sony obeys the group. Over the weekend, unreleased Sony films began hitting file sharing sites, including the Annie remake. Some experts think the attack could be a ransom demand from a former employee, but others, including Recode, believe that North Korea might be behind the hacking the reason. A reason to the film The Interview, which is scheduled to be released on Christmas Day. See for yourself why the North Korean theory has emerged.
Mr. Rappaport, I'm Agent Lacey with Central Intelligence. You two are going to be in a room alone with Kim, and the CIA would love it if you could take him out. Take him out.
For coffee? Dinner? For kimchi?
No, take him out.
You want us to kill the leader of North Korea?
Yes.
Hello, North Korea!
I've watched every episode of your show in preparation for this interview. I particularly enjoyed the Miley Cyrus camel toe episode.
Wow.
Very deep.
Very deep. Yeah, she has quite a hearty moose knuckle.
Gentlemen, you are entering into the most dangerous country on Earth. Please remember, Kim Jong-un is a master manipulator.
The film is about a fictional attempt by the CIA to assassinate North Korea's leader. The website threatpost.com reported that when details of the plot were first made public in June, the North Korean ministry called the movie a blatant act of terrorism and warned that merciless countermeasures will be taken. KCBS Radio reported earlier this week that the FBI is warning all corporations to safeguard against security breaches.
The protests against the grand jury decision in Ferguson, Missouri have made their way into professional sports. This past Sunday, some members of the St. Louis Rams took the field with their hands raised up, a visual protest demonstrating a personal surrender to police. Since then, there have been back and forth public statements between the St. Louis Police Department and the Rams organization. The owner of the football team regretted any offense that the police department may have taken, but supporters of the players' right to freedom of speech on the other hand. The St. Louis Police Department called the communication an apology, which the Rams deny issuing either way. It appears that no action will be taken against the players by either the Rams organization or the NFL. Police are now asking for any videotapes or surveillance footage to help identify suspects who damaged property and smashed the windows of stores located on O'Farrell during the protests. 79 people were arrested last Friday during a Ferguson protest in Union Square in the middle of a Black Friday. Police were unable to stop the crowd from advancing to the tree lighting ceremony. 5 officers were injured after some protesters began to throw rocks and bottles.
Well, rain has hit the Bay Area in the past 2 weeks, but has barely made an impact on the California drought. A spokesperson for the East Bay Municipal Utility District has said the rain that we had over Thanksgiving holiday weekend equals the amount of water that people use in just one day. According to the East Bay Mud, a normal year for rain would be around 50 inches, but as of now, we are 7 inches under. Central and Southern California water agencies that depend on Northern California water will have its rations cut back by 10%. That's what the State Water Project is announcing, and it's all because of the drought. The project delivers water from the Northern California mountains to the rest of the state. This will force the 29 contracting agencies to look for different sources of water and to also promote conserving the limited water that exists. East Bay Mud Water District will be purchasing billions of gallons of water from the government. That means customers could expect a 14% price hike. 5 billion gallons of water is only about 1 month's supply for the East Bay District. The vote will be held on the water hike next week.
San Francisco is making it easier to remove dangerous ficus trees throughout the city. This is a result of a man being injured this past weekend due to a tree branch that fell during the storms. The director of the Department of the Public Works signed an order this week relaxing the removal standards for ficus trees on the public streets, whether they are privately or city-owned. There are 2,700 ficus trees in the city. About 1,400 are publicly owned and maintained. Hundreds of trees can be impacted by the order. If you haven't picked up your Christmas tree yet, you may be in for a bit of a surprise when you get to the register. KR News reporter Melissa Brum has the story.
The Christmas season is upon us, and you know what that means? It's Christmas tree shopping time. Woo! If you have gone shopping for a Christmas tree, you may have noticed a sudden increase in price, and if you have, you're right. Executive Director of the Pacific Northwest Tree Association in Salem, Oregon, stated that there will be about a $2 increase this year compared to several other years. This may have some consumers rethinking buying a real Christmas tree.
I prefer artificial Christmas trees because over the long run it's cheaper and the cleanup is almost not at all. With a real Christmas tree, the needles are a nightmare.
I'm here at the Guardsman's Christmas tree lot, and I've interviewed a few people, and most everyone is for a real tree. I haven't really met anyone that's for an artificial tree, but the reason I'm at the Guardsman Christmas tree lot is because I have heard that all the proceeds do go to San Francisco and youth that is at risk.
I love having a real tree.
Open.
I have no idea. We didn't even look at prices, but we like that it goes to a good cause, so we just have always bought our tree here anyway.
I've been buying Christmas trees for years, and I've never wanted to buy an artificial tree.
Do you think that prices have gone up this year? Do you think they've stayed the same? Or?
I think they've gone up a little bit, yeah.
Tree pricing for 2014 for an average 6-foot tree is between $75 and $95, whereas at Target, an artificial tree is $60 for 6 feet. No matter what the preference is, there are many places all over the city where you can find a tree that suits you. In San Francisco, I'm Melissa Brum for Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
Melissa says that this price hike for this year's trees is due to inflation and not necessarily related to the drought.
Not only is online shopping giant Amazon bringing in the wealth, they are sharing it. The company has stated they are going to hire up to 1,000 seasonal employees to help them throughout the holidays. Along with multiple employees, the company has deployed 15,000 wheeled robots to crisscross the floors of the biggest warehouses, gathering toys, books, and other orders from the website. Amazon's forecast revenue for the holiday quarter is between $27 and $30 billion. 59% of Californians polled saying the higher education system is underfunded. That's according to the Public Policy Institute of California's survey released Monday. Those who responded are also unsure what to do about it. The majority also rejects the idea of raising taxes and tuition to maintain the current funding for University of California's, Cal States, and community colleges.
Apple's legendary CEO Steve Jobs will be heard in the videotape deposition in Apple's upcoming trial. As you recall, he passed away 3 years ago. After almost a decade, a billion-dollar class action lawsuit has begun in a California federal court. Attorneys for the consumers and electronic retailer claim Apple used software within iTunes to force potential song buyers to purchase Apple iPods instead of cheaper music players made by rivals. For the first time in nearly 100 years, Girl Scouts of the USA will be selling its cookies digitally via apps and personalized websites. The chief digital cookie executive for the organization states online is where entrepreneurship is going. The tactic is supposed to enhance sales, which are about $800 million annually. The best news for the digital native is delicious cookies delivered straight to the door.
For a younger generation, tattoos in the workplace is no big deal, but for an older workforce, there's been a stigma in the white-collar profession on whether or not it's okay to show your tattoos at work. I took a deeper look into this story. Having tattoos in today's society is not an uncommon thing. However, you don't see them being flaunted in a professional environment. I headed down to San Francisco's busy financial district to ask some people what they thought about tattoos in an office environment.
I've never thought that it's an issue. Like I think it's totally fine as long as the tattoo is not inappropriate or anything. Like I wouldn't want to see another teacher with like a naked woman on his arm or her arm. But like I think tattoos are fine. I'm still a little bit weirded out by like face tattoos.
I've seen people with tattoos in a professional work environment, and I have no problems with them other than sometimes I'm curious like what the meaning of the tattoo is. So I'm kind of intrigued, and to me it's just like a form of expression, the way somebody dresses or having a tattoo or whatever. So if it's something I like or I'm intrigued by, I might ask, and that's probably the extent of it. But it doesn't bother me. I think it's cool. I want to know more about it.
So although people in an office environment say that it's okay to have tattoos exposed, you rarely see it. However, you do see it in places like this industry. Julian Gray is the head chef at Southside Spirits and states that he loves his tattoos and it doesn't affect how someone works.
I did some catering before, so catering like serving, and when you serve, you're probably not, you weren't allowed to show your tattoos. A lot of people have tattoos now, I know a lot of older people with tattoos, a lot of professionals with tattoos, so it's not like it used to be, back in the 50s and the 60s. You can probably be the president and have a tattoo, like, it doesn't matter.
This is San Francisco. We're a very tolerant society. So if people have tattoos, it's fine.
In San Francisco, I'm Summer Moore with Academy of Art University's K-Art News. Perhaps after seeing the positive interviews in this segment, more folks will begin to show their tattoos around the office. Well, some manufacturing businesses in San Francisco may have found it hard to find the workspace in the city to expand their companies. However, San Francisco is coming up with a strategy to help support the growth of businesses in the city. The plan is focusing on key factors such as late-night transit options, more entry-level positions, and more affordable workspace. San Francisco is home to nearly 400 businesses in food and drink manufacturing. There is a gadget out there that may be on some folks' Christmas list this year that is said to make you smarter. It is a device called the Transcranial Direct Current Stimulation, or the TDCS. It works by providing a low constant charge to certain areas of the brain, helping you focus more. Although the device has not been approved by the FDA, TDCS was tested on Air Force pilots and showed positive test results. A Silicon Valley startup is hoping to have the device on the market within the year.
New information that there are more positives for circumcisions than negatives. That's the bottom line of a long-awaited recommendation from the Centers for Disease Control on federal guidelines for circumcision. The reports help support medical evidence that the procedure is beneficial and that health insurers should pay for it. One benefit is that the extra skin acts as a safety blanket for men and can help prevent the transmission of sexually transmitted diseases and HIV. From safety blankets to deadly blankets, researchers just found out that the 55% of infants get put to the bed in blankets that have death risk, whether it's comforter or a fluffy plush blanket. This can raise a baby's chances of death due to suffocation or sudden infant death syndrome. Neonatologists in Pennsylvania said that he is startled by the number of people still using bedding in the sleep area. Doctors say that nothing but babies should go in the crib.
I think you know what a homeless person looks like. A new ad campaign produced by the Coalition of Homelessness will go up in public transportation hubs and on muni buses with the intention of breaking stereotypes about homeless people. The ads will involve normal dress working individuals that happen to be homeless. A study showed that most working homeless were once residents with their own homes, yet due to an endless amount of housing issues, they are now in shelters. The purpose is to break stereotypes of all kinds. Lingerie clothing store Victoria's Secret has been recently criticized over its Perfect Body campaign. Kiana Moody brings us more on this story.
Victoria's Secret original ad sparked mass outrage last month, with lobbyists arguing that declaring the tall and tiny bodies of its models as being perfect, it was sending out a dangerous message. Every day, women are bombarded with advertisements aimed at making them feel insecure about their bodies, in the hope that they will spend money on products that will supposedly make them happier and more beautiful.
So honestly, I think that the perfect body is just your own definition of a perfect body. If you're comfortable with being thick or you're comfortable with being skinny, to me, that's the perfect body. There is no perfect body. So when you look at Victoria's Secret models and runway models and people in the magazines, you can't judge the way that you look on the way that they look.
I don't agree with the Victoria's Secret being the perfect body, because not everybody can have that body build, and just because you don't doesn't mean that your body isn't perfect in your own way.
I don't believe there is a certain body built as far as skinny or thick or big. I feel like as long as you're fit, you're comfortable.
And so I think the whole perfect body thing is kind of harsh to people who don't have a body like that, because it might be kind of rude, you know? It's kind of saying, this is perfect body. If you don't have that body, you're not perfect.
Victoria's Secret has changed their slogan from the perfect body to a body for everybody, thanks to over 27,000 signatures.
As a former Victoria's Secret employee, I know that the company was developed to design lingerie to make women feel better about themselves. The marketing team apparently didn't get the memo. In San Francisco, I'm Kiana Moody for Academy of Art University's K-Art News.
Victoria's Secret did change their slogan from the perfect body to a body for everybody.
Now let's join DeAndre Gallipo, who is with Trent Stokes, center for the Academy of Arts men's basketball team.
Thanks, guys, and thanks, Trent, so much for joining us. I know you must be so busy with basketball and everything. How's that going?
It's definitely a struggle. I'm kind of behind my classes right now, but I'm catching up. Basketball's kind of picking up. I mean, the team's starting to come together, and I feel like we're really close to making a breakthrough in just team chemistry.
And I know you didn't play last year, and that's because you redshirted.
That's right.
Okay, so can you explain a little bit about that and what it's like to play now?
Well, last year redshirting sucked in every way because I had to watch my team struggle in areas I thought I could have contributed. So it was very difficult to be on the back burner and have to practice and go through all the stress of getting better but not showing how good you've gotten. And this year I just feel like animal out of the cage. I'm excited to play and showcase what I've learned and just be with the boys on the court.
We're excited to watch you. I know one of the things that keeps you busy is you're starting a program, and you have started. Can you talk a little bit about Doodle with Us?
Okay, so I've started a program called Doodle with Us with 4 students from the academy that lived at Bluxom at the time, because I used to live at Bluxom last semester, and they basically just would help me bring out the canvas and the materials to allow kids to draw and express themselves, and adults as well, but express themselves freely. And the whole point was just to show people how art is necessary in the community and how creativity is necessary for human interaction.
And how did you come up with the idea?
I used to work for a printing company called Winter Park Blue Printing, and I would take the scrap vinyl that I saw laying around and I would draw on it. But I noticed that when I would draw on it in public, kids would want to draw with me. So I just gave them my supplies and I would just let kids draw.
I can tell how much you love art. You've got paint on your shoes. I don't know if our audience can see it, but what are your plans for this moving forward? How big do you want it to be? What's the big goal?
Wow, the big goal. If you want all that. Well, the grand scheme of it is that Doodle with Us is just one business model. I mean, the way that I marketed it was really kind of just on a whim, but I've been working with the art education director to give it a structure a lesson plan, in a sense, a curriculum. But I would like Doodle With Us to be one of 33 different brands that I develop while I'm at the school, and I would call that collective art universe.
Wow.
So I'm in the process of developing all those now.
I can't wait. Is there a way that people can find and keep up with you?
As of right now, no.
Okay.
No, not right now.
Well, we'll keep everybody updated. That's all the time we have for right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Trent and Dee. The money dispute between Comcast and Dish Network continues, but this week, Dish Network agrees to a short extension of a Northern California sports networks. The dispute will end when Dish announces how much money it is willing to pay to carry Comcast NBC Sports Group's networks. It is unclear on how long the extension and dispute will last, but if it continues, Dish Network subscribers will be unable to watch their favorite Bay Area sports teams in action.
Entertainer Bill Cosby has resigned from Temple University's Board of Trustees. This is after being accused of drugging and sexually assaulting women. He is alumni of Temple and claims he did not want to be a distraction. He has been on the board since 1982. Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick are selling their 6,800 square foot townhouse in Manhattan, New York. Parker originally was asking for $22 million, but she recently lowered the price to $19.95 million. The townhouse also includes 7 fireplaces, a Juliet balcony, landscape garden, and lots of built-in bookcases. The two bought this mansion for $18 million back in 2011.
Experts are always raving about the advantage of going organic. There is a food truck called Dusty Bun Bistro Bus that has been providing organic food for the past 5 years. Here is Viana Liu for more on the story.
And it keeps it fun for a chef to put something out the window that's beautiful. Because the first thing someone eats with is their eyes.
Among all different food trucks in San Francisco, there is a special one that provides organic and fresh foods to their customers called Dusty Bun's Bistro Bus.
I think any chef can do something to change the food world out there. A lot of chefs are using processed things and using freezer fries and everything that's already cut and prepped. I think that changes the health of our country, what we're looking for in a meal, and how we feel after we eat it. So I want to bring this product that takes a lot of work to put together, but it changes how people feel. It changes how they look at the food. It changes how their kids look at food. I have 2 baby girls, and when they grow up, I want them to know what's in their food and that it's safe to eat. And so my ketchup, that's why it only has 5 ingredients.
Looks like they have a lot of great flavors. Sometimes we like to not eat things with bread on them, so they had a salad that looked really good. It doesn't have bread, so that's nice. It's like flavor, tasty and healthy.
I'm going to dress this up with an almond pesto. And just like I prepare everything else from scratch, I make this almond pesto vegan from scratch. There's no dairy in it. So that when the vegan Joes come up, I can make them that delicious vegetarian, sloppy Joe style vegan sandwich. It's called the Vegan Joe. And these vegetables change every day.
One of the most popular foods of Dusty is the snap pea fries. It is made of zero sugar snaps with rose garlic yogurt. If you are interested in Dusty, check out dustybun.com. In San Francisco, Viana Liu, KR News.
The food trucks gather every day from Monday through Sunday. Now we go to Kiyomi Masuda for this week's entertainment.
Thanks, guys. December is already here, which means the countdown for Old St. Nick has officially begun. Even Jimmy Fallon wanted to celebrate the holiday season on his Tonight Show. But of course, Jimmy had to put a twist to some pop songs that would make our stomach burn from laughter. He even had Rashida Jones help him sing these new and improved songs. Let's take a look.
Then she made me some cranberry sauce and then 12 pumpkin pie. Because you know I'm gonna gain some weight, need sweatpants. I'm gonna gain some weight, need sweatpants.
Won't you drink with me? I hate my family.
They're insane, it's plain to see.
So won't you drink with me? Turkey
Now others are spending the holidays a little bit differently. I know those who follow Jersey Shore religiously might find this news to be no surprise, but for the rest of you guys, Snooki and Gioni just got married this past weekend. The 4'8" bride wore an opulent beaded lace dress with a floor-length veil that covered her bright red hair. The couple were engaged March 2012 and has officially tied the knot. Snooki promises the public that more wedding pictures are on the way. The moment that all Galacta nerds have been waiting for has finally come to the screen. That's right, the new Star Wars trailer has just made its arrival to Earth. Although it doesn't give much plot info or if it continues on to the old trilogies, it is still something to look forward to. And for those who haven't seen it yet, here's a little sneak peek of what it is. Star Wars The Force Awakens will premiere on Earth next December 2015. Well, unfortunately, that concludes this week's entertainment. Back to you guys.
From interplanetary travel to our own home here on Earth, in whatever country you are in, start thinking about the world as one. Dr. Palitha Kahona, the United Nations representative for Sri Lanka, brought up the subject of global citizenship in the most recent meeting. As politics, economies, conflicts, and cultures become increasingly intertwined, will individual identities also begin to transcend national boundaries? The establishment of the United Nations has created the forum for humanity to make an effort to address common issues together from a global perspective.
That's it for this edition of Academy of Art University's KR News. For everyone here, thanks for joining us. I'm Sylvia Moraz.
And I'm Summer Moore. Have a great evening and enjoy your weekend.